In here we'll answer Muslim Kakodox accusing Christianity of polytheism.
If I said true man from true man, you would count and think that there are at least two men. And if I said
yes, we also count two men.
True dog from true dog, you would count by the way that we usually count things, two dogs. However,
we also count two dogs.
When it comes to the Nicene Creed, the creedal confession,
there is no however. We don't count mere humans, dogs, or Allah-like gods in the creed.
Confession that all mainstream Christians affirm, whether Protestant, Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, Oriental Orthodox, they believe in the following: true God from true God. This is said of Jesus, supposedly. Yet, somehow, they still count one God. Now,
there is no such thing. Somehow they count one God. We don't mention Allah like Unitarian gods in our faith and in our creed. We just don't mention such God. Is plain and simple. If we were to mention such a God, we also would count two. We know arithmetics.
Now, we know that this would at least imply two gods, but
we also know that implies two gods when you have one separate God like Allah coming from another separate God. But we don't have this in our faith. We don't have this in our creed. We don't have one God coming from another God. This is not our faith. This is your faith, the faith that God is Unitarian, one person only. So this is your faith, and your faith, you apply it in our creed. You cannot do that. I also cannot do it, like applying my faith and my God in your book. I cannot do it, okay? And you cannot do it.
But they would insist that the way we usually count things is wrong.
Fake and false. We never insist, we never claim that the way we usually count things is wrong. We also count two men, two dogs, and two gods when we are mentioning a Unitarian Allah like gods. We know arithmetics.
And we should somehow count one God. The justification is that, well, they share the same nature.
Fake. There is no such justification in the creed. The creed speaks of the persons being homoousios, in plural, homoousios, singular.
So we should count one of those things. Well, the true man from true man also share the same nature, and we don't count one of those things.
We also don't count one man. We also count two.
As the class here, or the kind of thing, would be a man, and the two specific instances would be two men.
Yes, we also know these things may be hard to believe, but we know that the class, the kind, the nature is one. Humanity is just one. And yet, we also count two.
Same thing with the dog. There is one kind dog and two specific instances of that kind, and we would count two dogs. And if there is one kind God or one divine nature, and there are 2 instances of this divine nature, then we would likewise count 2 gods.
We also would count 2 gods if we were to mention the kind of God you believe in, but we don't mention that kind of God. We mention a Trinitarian God. It doesn't matter if you like it or not, if you believe it or not. It just doesn't matter. From the moment that we declare a Trinitarian God, we are valid with every logic, with every aspect. We are valid in everything.